Wow, I think we're live. Oh, we are. Once again, boys and girls, we're live with the weather report. This is like, what, 10 days in a row or something I've been able to do this. And here is Loki, and he wants to talk to you about, well, come on, Loki. Say something, Loki. Loki wants to talk to you about standing for truth because he listened to the entire debate and he insists that Stanley didn't present any evidence. Well, or discussion, you like to call it, right, Top Dog?
Is Loki a cat?
Yeah.
Loki's a cat.
Cat kind?
He's a cat kind. Yep, he's tiger kind because he bites. He has been known to bite. He hasn't bitten since he bit my ex-wife, and I wasn't around when he bit her, and I'm guessing that she had a talk with him because he hasn't bit anybody for a year. Very good kitty.
She probably had more than a talk with him, huh?
I think she screamed at him. Well, I think she kind of did what she used to do to me.
What, not give you sex?
It was a hell of a lot. No, that would have been fine. That would have been fine. That was just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, I think she yelled at him a bit because he has not bit anybody. He bites very gently now, so I think she taught him a lesson. But it cost me about $1,000 to pay for her time off work and emergency room visits and medication, and he bit her pretty good. And he got a little bacteria in there, kind of like an alligator, you know. And then the cat he was waiting for her to die so he could eat her corpse. But we outsmarted him. Anyway, so let's see, just a few events. So Top Dog and Standing for Truth had a discussion last night. And I think what it was Top Dog presenting some content and Stanley preaching. And I did a little bit of a comment on it. And as soon as I commented, Stanley he seemed to get really irritated in the chat. And he put up this video immediately about Dr. Let's see, what is it called? What is the video called? Dr. Dan Stern Cardinal, Dodgeball Dan, and Speed of Sound are clueless. And that's what he did. Yeah, a second here. I gotta get rid of the audio on this one. Shut that down. Turn this on. Put some headphones on. Oh, I didn't charge my headphones, guys. So, what did you think of your talk with Stanley last night?
I don't know if he learned anything.
I don't think these headphones are going to work, guys.
Their community didn't learn anything.
Nope. Say something.
Just want to make fun.
Uh-oh. Can't hear you guys. Shit. Headphones are dead. My bad. I can't play any audio right now. We'll have to wait a minute. I did not plug them in. Oh my God. Red light. So it seemed like his usual spiel. I really didn't find anything tremendously powerful going on. He didn't provide any evidence. He showed some of the same papers he's always shown. He had a quote mine or two. Didn't make any sense. What was one of them? I think I have it downloaded here somewhere. So he had this little quote mine. I suppose I could share the screen, just not share the audio for the time being.
Jerry's asking what the Top Dog and Stanley's conversation was about.
Oh, God damn it. Yes. Just guess, Jerry. Take a shot. What was your conversation about, Top Dog? Are you there?
It was about the common ancestry.
Yeah. And did it stay on topic? Nope.
I tried.
That was the wrong screen. That's the other one. Yeah, I listened to quite a bit of it. Then I got interrupted by a whole bunch of stuff going on my yard. I had to do some unloading, so I missed a little bit of it. And then he clipped a little bit of it and put it in this Speed of Sound and Dr. Dan thing, or Clueless, that thing right there. And I wish I could play this. Damn it. I am unprepared.
Why can't you?
Because my headphones are dead.
So,
Well, hang on a second. I got another set of headphones.
no, but what I'm saying, I mean, you can't. I've played audio without having my headphones on, and it didn't echo or anything.
It echoes real bad on my side if I do that. It does not work. Let's see what we can do here. God damn. Boy, that's a tangled mess. Oh.
Thank you for joining us for the pre-show, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck y'all. Production values are not our thing around here. We don't do it. Cat, go away. Okay, Loki. I've had it. Been petting you for about 8 hours. Just about done with that shit. I'll try these and see what happens.
I have it on my screen, or
yeah.
sharing screen.
Okay, that'll work. Well, go to which one do you have? Yeah, okay.
That video you have right there.
Go to the very beginning, the very, very beginning.
Yep.
And let me let's see. Stop screen, and you want to add stream? No. What did I do?
That's it.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, go ahead and play it.
Okay.
So here's what they did. Okay. Now skip ahead to 133.
He's getting started.
Speed of Sound. He's in the chat. He's failed miserably at this. Speed of Sound should just retire, in my opinion, because, I mean, the guy's response videos, they're comedy shows. He goes through 30 seconds of a video, thinks he's addressing something. It's in one ear and out the other with him. So I'm going to go find it. Why do we then only see 200 to 300 generations worth of time in mitochondrial DNA, in Y chromosome DNA? For example, here's a Y chromosome tree.
Okay.
Here's a mitochondrial DNA.
That's enough. Oh, no, keep playing. There's another interesting part right here.
Tree. Now, I know this is technical. It's phylogenetic. So you don't need to really understand it. Just know that these lines, these branches all represent
stop
DNA.
right there.
Foreskin.
Yeah.
You don't really need to understand it. 'Cause, I mean, I don't really understand it. I talk about it all the time. That's stuff he's saying.
Just, kids, this is highly technical and you don't need to understand it, but just, but these are the same two illustrations I've been putting up for the last year, like nonstop. And no one has ever come up with these illustrations other than Dr. Jensen, and Dr. Jensen refuses to tell us how he came up with these illustrations. And he keeps putting them up over and over and over again. And it's very clear right there, the L0 and L1, that the African branches are way the hell different than us, which is exactly what we'd expect. And Dr. Dan has been over this, that no, that is not, it's not the way it works, that there's 3 different branches coming off, like 3 different eaves or whatever. It's just like, no, none of it works. It's an unrooted tree that they put up because it looked good, and they could make hay talking about it. And then he goes on about somehow he thinks we have the mitochondrial sequence for Eve, and I have questions about that. Maybe we think we do, but how the fuck did we get that? I mean, how exactly did we get the mitochondrial sequence for the supposed Eve that branched out, which they found with coalescent theory? I don't know. I invited him in here tonight and told him to bring his best evidence. Maybe he could explain the technical details, because we are technical, and he's not going to bore us if he dives into how exactly he got this information. Did you get anything out of it, Top Dog? I mean, did you?
I didn't know anything about what he was showing, so
Did he explain how he got his data?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. Did he just like make assertions? Maybe.
Probably.
And did he not Gish Gallop all over the fucking place?
Oh yeah.
Did I
like
not tell you?
One. Yeah, I already knew that. I'm saying. I tried to go down the one at a time.
Did I not tell you that's exactly what it was going to be as a preaching opportunity for Stanley? As
Yeah,
it-
and I forgot more than I was gonna say.
You felt
So,
dumber when you left?
Maybe.
Yeah. I always feel a little dumber when I watch his videos. and he complains that I only do a 30-second clip. And the problem with him and the rest of them is there really isn't much you can dig into, because number one, okay, he's one paper, I had to screenshot it, and then I had to go type in text over and over again until I found the exact paper he was talking about. Every one of them's like that. Nothing's ever linked in the chat. He never backs up what he says. He never actually reads or digs into the papers he provides. The one on PRDM9, I think I downloaded that today. That was the one that I found. I mean, it takes 5 or 10 minutes to find those clips, because if you type in too much text, you don't get a hit, which indicates to me that they have abbreviated it, or they've clipped it, or they've modified it, right? So you have to type in very short sections and then the subject matter, and then you can find it. And I found one of the papers. And anyway, so this is 9 minutes long, and he doesn't really say anything.
Well, like what me and Nakatsuchi run into a lot when we review Christian videos is that, yeah, you can only get through so much of the video, because, like, I mean, it happens here sometimes when we're reviewing shit. You've got to fucking stop the video so often because they say something that's just utterly ridiculous or wrong, and you got to comment on it, or else, if you watch too much of the video and stack up all the things that you want to comment on, it's almost like, Top Dog, experiencing last night, a big long gish galop, and by the time SFT shuts his mouth, you can't even remember everything he said.
Yeah. And in the comments, I saw somebody wrote down Superman versus Star Fox. Things I remember from the debate, discussion.
I think you were there for a few of them in the chat there, Speed. But like when we reviewed Matt Powell's latest movie,
Yeah.
it took us like 5 streams of a couple hours each, and the movie was only like an hour long.
Yeah.
Because just every 10 seconds there was just more nonsense to discuss.
Let's play this whole thing. Jerry asked me what the mitochondrial argument is, and basically Jensen did a bunch of numbers. He got numbers from the 1000 Genome Project. He never provided the data, the source data that he used, so we don't know exactly what part of the genome he used or exactly how he did the numbers he did. Then he got some pedigree numbers from a couple of papers, and it looked like he picked the ones that he needed to make 6,000 years come out right. And then he made some claims, and other than that, I can't figure out what the hell they say. But now, but go ahead. I think Standing is making some new claims about the rate of mtDNA mutation. But Top Dog, go ahead and play the rest of this.
Difference is the result of mutations. There is only a few mutations here. Okay. So I'm actually going to teach Speed of Sound something here too, and Dr. Dan, because they're both a little bit, since they're my atheist friends, I'll just say, sorry about my friends, they're a little slow. Okay, here's the thing. The mutation rate is fast in Y chromosome and mitochondrial DNA. It's about 0.5 per generation in the mitochondrial DNA. Do you know, Top Dog, how many mutations you and I Do you know on average how many mutations or differences we are removed from the Eve sequence that we have?
I don't think I care about the extreme details that much.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
So
that's
I don't need to think
And
about
that's okay. That's
foreskin.
okay. I've had discussion.
Okay, so what Eve sequence do we have? I've been trying to find that. I'm not a mitochondrial DNA specialist. I didn't know that we had the sequence for the Eve mitochondrial DNA and that we could tell exactly how many mutations were different. Let's see, mtDNA mutates at about 10 times faster than nuclear DNA. However, it can't keep doing that because it's a very small genome. And if it keeps mutating a lot, okay, for one thing, there's a lot of them in your cell, like thousands, thousands in each cell, right? In your somatic line. And if they mutate and the mutation is bad, the mitochondria is going to die. And it isn't going to end up mutating again. But a certain amount of it gets into the germline. And Dr. Dan showed, that subset with those circles about how little gets into the germline. So there's a few cell divisions there, and it gets into the germline. And then it goes, however, not just one gets into the germline. You can have thousands in that zygote, right, that come from the mother. And they're all going to have all of them could possibly have a mutation. Now, from there, they have to multiply into as the organism grows. And who knows? I mean, it's a circus. It's almost like a million independent lines are going to go into the somatic line, right? And at least that's as much as I understand of it. If Dr. Dan were here, he could help me understand or correct anything I'm saying.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, to the best of our knowledge, and I say our, I'm speaking of like the scientific community, not including myself, just the royal hour, I guess. But mankind goes back roughly like 200,000 years, right?
More than that.
How much more?
Well, it's impossible to actually say that.
There was no first humans.
For the sake of argument, just like, okay, let's use my. He talks about the DNA sequence for my mitochondrial Eve, but do we have DNA from anything from several 100,000 years ago? I don't understand that. I mean, like everybody was losing their minds over the soft tissue in the dinosaur bones. And that's not even, the actual tissue that started out there, because it has transformed into other chemistry. But like, do we is he standing on anything when he says there's been so many mutations over this, so it could only be, the earth could only be so old, or mankind could only be so old, because we don't really have DNA samples of the earliest examples of Homo sapiens, do we?
Yeah. Nor do we have the genome for Eve. I don't know where he thinks we got that.
Yeah, I mean, I was confused by all that. Just my limited understanding, like that he, for some reason, is under the impression that we know what the first of mankind's DNA looked like, so we can compare it to now and do some kind of like ersatz math to, figure out, through mutation rates. Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand where he's going with that.
I don't know either. Tangelo is calling you out now. He sent an email this morning. You haven't responded yet. So he's saying, he seems to retract now from his offer to debate me.
Oh, no, we were talking about that. I don't know if we were live when we started talking about that, or if it was.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, no, that's right, Otangelo. I haven't responded yet. I will. You and me are going to debate the age of the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants a debate show, Otangelo.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Is Otangelo an expert on genetics?
No, fuck no. He said, I comment as if I am an expert now on genetics. Now you heard exactly what I just said over the last couple minutes.
Yeah.
Was there any part of that where I didn't preface my statements or, admit about my limited understanding? And, because I was asking you a question, I was asking you if I was thinking in the right fashion or not. I didn't interject and say, for sure, standing for truth is wrong because this, that, and the other thing. I asked Speed, do I have this right? Okay. So you're saying that I'm portraying myself as an expert is an outright lie, Otangelo.
Yeah.
You are a piece of fucking shit. And when we debate, I am going to spank that ass, dude. I'm going to go balls deep on you.
Anyway.
Well, I'm good with the
Oh,
cosmology.
he says, nah, the age of the universe is controversial. I'm not interested in that. You claim that molecular machines do not. Well, but Speed was there when you made your challenge. You said I could pick the topic, Otangelo.
Yes, exactly.
And you're a fucking young Earth creationist, but the age of the universe is too controversial for you?
Yeah. That's exactly what he believed. I mean, he admitted to 6,000 years, so why not debate about it?
Oh, I won't call you names during a debate, Otangelo. I'm just calling you. I'm just calling you garbage right now. No, because I'm not Smokey Saint. I'm not. Who else does that? Darth Dawkins. I'm not. If it's going to be a debate, it'll be a structured debate with timed openings, timed rebuttals, and open discussion section where you won't hear one insult out of me in the whole thing. You won't catch me talking over you. But if you try and gish gallop, but anyway, yeah, if you don't want to debate that, then go kick rocks, motherfucker. You said I could pick the topic, and you claim to be a young Earth creationist, so it's a very valid argument.
So Stanley said we're 22 nucleotides different from Eve, who he thinks he had. Maybe they do have Eve. Maybe they found her in some church or something. I don't know. But the variation among humans, just between modern humans, is like 272 nucleotides. So how could we only be 22 different from Eve when we're like up to 270 different from the guy over in Europe or Africa? I don't. Without looking seriously into mtDNA, molecular clocks, and variation rates, I cannot comment completely about this, but I smell a rat. You want to play the rest of this video?
Okay.
With Dodgeball Dan, he knows. So on average, it's only about 22 mutations that any of us are removed. We're only different by the Eve consensus sequence by about 22 mutations. The maximum difference. Okay, so that's your timer.
Does that mean
I'll end it with this, Top Dog. Okay, on average, it's about 22 differences. The max is 100. If our mutation rate is 0.5 per generation, okay, do the math. How long does it take to acquire 22 differences? Not very long, a minimal amount of generations. Now, your critics like Speed of Sound and Deceitful Dan, they want to say, show me the numbers, because we got to account for purifying selection, substitution rates. Yes. Guess what? If it only takes a few generations to accumulate such a few amount of mutations, when the mutation rate is about 0.5 per generation in the mitochondrial DNA and about 1 per generation in the Y chromosome, guess what? We have a ton of generations to now account for massive amounts of purifying selection. Okay, there's only a few substitution rates overall. We have a couple bottlenecks according to our model. Guess what? The numbers fit perfectly with our model, and it is impossible for evolutionary PhD scientists like Dodgeball Dan to ever come up with a story that's believable enough to say that this is a reflection of a couple 100,000 years.
Fucking wrap
universal
up
ancestry.
Huh?
I said slowest fucking wrap up ever. Like he just, well, I'll just wrap it up by saying this. And it throws in a fucking 10-minute gish club.
I think I found something.
So really quick, are you capturing this live chat speed? Like you
Yeah.
usually do? Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, because Otangelo's making a fool out of himself in live chat. So again, you heard Otangelo say I could pick the topic, right?
Hey, Otangelo, we're going through a paper on molecular machines tonight. And we're not going to do it live. We're going to record it, and we might stream it later tonight. We'll see. Scott and I. So you should be there, Otangelo.
Yeah, and the name of the video is Why Otangelo is So Wrong.
Yeah. Why the cell is not a machine.
Because, and just, sorry to take this aside here, but Grasso says, okay, hold on a second. Speed. Okay, so you do not have the balls to defend your claims about molecular machines. Thought so. All you have are baseless and empty assertions. Your worldview is bunk. And once again, let me ask this question, Speed. You heard him say I could pick the topic, right?
What's that?
You heard him say I could pick the topic when he challenged.
I did. He said you could pick any topic. Yeah.
So
any topic. And you picked it.
I mean, really, all I'd have to do is to that topic there, Otangelo. I would just have to prove that I know what a fucking analogy is.
I found something, but let's go. There's only a few minutes left, right? Let's play the rest of it.
Destroyed simply by comparing humans to chimpanzees. We don't even have to say, "Oh, show me evidence why humans and banana plants are not related." Or related. I mean, no, we can just go closest to home. A lot of people, I guess, a lot of evolutionists say, oh, these creationists, they always want to talk about humans and pine trees. Show us the evidence for that. No, show me the evidence for humans and chips. I'll go as close to home as possible. And that is what destroys universal common ancestry. And even the best of the best, which are not the best, have no answers.
I don't understand this at all. Okay. I mean, yeah, not universal. They're not saying that all animals came from Adam and Eve, but like for humanity, they're, using a nonsensical version of common ancestry. They're claiming that all of us came from a pair of humans.
Boom. Look at this. I found something. So he's been talking about the Eve mitochondrial consensus sequence, and I'd never heard of it. And so I typed that into Googly, and Googly said that there's a paper, and look who wrote the paper. Go figure. Look where it says you can get the paper. Now it says biology, but I don't know where it's published. 2008, he published it. Okay. What the fuck? I've never seen this paper before. The Eve mitochondrial consensus sequence. We have calculated the consensus sequence for human mitochondrial DNA using 800 available sequences. How did they do that? On average,
when it says consensus sequence, it sounds like that they're hypothesizing from data that they have.
I'm not sure. And where was this published? In Biology, 2008? Was it really published? Where's the DOI number for this thing?
I think Otangelo is so sore with you, Speed.
Are you mad at me, Otangelo?
No, he's not adding, but he said, Immutable said, why don't you join Otangelo and talk with John in person? And Otangelo said, no need. I already said what I wanted to say. Engaging here is not of my interest.
That's a tough thing.
He just wants to backpedal on his original challenge. That's all.
Well, let's go Googly the title and see if I can find out where this has been published. See whether it was peer reviewed and see what they came up with. Okay, we got ICR.org, Semantic Scholar, Pinterest.com, research. Okay, ResearchGate. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that copy of that live chat whenever it processes.
Okay.
because I need to get a bunch of screenshots of what Otangelo's saying here. So no mods, no matter what Otangelo says the rest of the stream, don't time him out. I don't want his post to disappear, because I need to get screenshots of all of them and then go back to the now this is Otangelo, all right? And again, I'm sorry I keep interrupting you, Speed, but he sent me an email about the debate. I told Speed about it and told Speed the topic I was going to, send back an email back and tell him I wanted to debate. Otangelo didn't just send me an email. He sent me an email in which he forwarded it to Immutable, to Speed, and to like half a dozen other people that are, I think, of the same mind that Otangelo is. So he did that purposely because he couldn't just communicate with me one-on-one. He wanted to send that email to a bunch of people so that if the debate ended up not happening, and you can see that's what he wanted, because he came right in here and started firing shots. Okay, he came right in here. So, John, I got the email like 5 hours ago, and I haven't responded to him yet. And he comes right into the fucking live chat. John has not responded to me. I guess he's, scared, or what the fuck he was saying. And now he comes in and he says he changed his mind. I want to debate this. You don't get to pick the topic. I know, I know I told you that, John, but I changed my mind, So I'm going to have to go back to that email and post all of his screenshots and call him out for the pussy he is, because he put me on blast. He couldn't just send me an email. Hey, John, what about that debate we were talking about? Anyway, sorry, Speed.
Oh, I'm trying to track down this paper.
Okay. Yeah, you're trying to figure out where it
was published.
Yeah.
I know Semantic Scholar finds it. It's in ICR, but I don't see where they said biology, but it didn't really. Okay, it says it's published in biology, and I don't know what that. Published 2008 biology. Not giving me a lot here.
2008, like Biology Magazine, maybe?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Hang on a second, guys. I'll talk for a minute.
I mean,
Angelo.
Well, I guess I might have played the wrong video for them to understand yesterday on the SFT's stream. I was trying to get it to show common ancestry and how there's not for one human, or the first human, the like Adam and Eve, like doesn't make sense in showing our DNA is all related and stuff. So I don't know how help them think better,
Well, I mean, the thing is I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. It doesn't matter what video you play or what evidence you show. People like SFT, they're not open to considering that there's other information out there, or that they're not understanding something. I guarantee you, I mean, just like you've seen SFT debate on Modern Day Debate many times, does he ever act? I mean, even in the back and forth part, it never seems like he's really listening to his interlocutor. Like in the back and forth, like he just is waiting for his interlocutor to close their mouth so he can say what he was going to say anyway.
Yeah. And they were saying there was a problem in evolution or something. And then I said, probably not. And then he kept on acting like it was.
Jerry Pena says, if I recall, there's several different mitochondrial Eves, not just one. Is that right, guys?
Well, okay, the mitochondrial Eve is a number that they got from basically, what the fuck is it called? Oh, shit. From an analysis they do on a number of different DNA sequences, coalescence theory allows them to kind of reach back and predict basically how far back there was a single ancestor, because if you do a tree, like you have 10 people alive today, right? And each of these 10 people had a mother and a father, and the mother and father had a grandfather, or they had a mother and father, and they all had mothers and fathers. If you keep doing that, you'll end up with 10 people today, but you'll end up with 1 billion people not too long ago.
It was like 40 generations where it's 1 trillion people, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So
But
obviously
I
there was
have
some
videos.
crossover, yeah.
About the,
So obviously not everyone's sequences are going to be in these current 10 people. I mean, it's going to coalesce at some point. And so they've done calculations based on genomes, and it's a very, very heavy mathematical theory, and they can kind of tell you how many generations back it should coalesce, that sort of thing. And this, to the best of my knowledge, because like I say, it is something that I would have to study for at least another 6 months to get my head around all of it, right? So they found this mitochondrial Eve, and they predicted it was something like around 80,000 years ago. And then they found a mitochondrial atom from the Y chromosome, and that placed at around anywhere from, I think, 150,000 to 240,000 years ago. And that simply means that all the other ancestors sort of statistically dropped out of the equation, okay, with these genomes that, you know, don't involve sexual reproduction, that sort of thing. They come from one parent or the other, that sort of thing. And that's how they do it, and that's what they came up with. And they made the mistake of naming it mitochondrial Eve and mitochondrial Adam, and the creationists have been going nuts ever since about it. And then they thought, oh, well, if we can just modify the projected mutation rates, and if we do it just right, and we use a spreadsheet and we fuck with the numbers, we can come up with 6,000 years. And that's what they did. And then they went out and they found a paper that mentioned 6,800 years. And I think it was in another context. And they got even more excited. And so they've been running with this. And they've been hitting us over the head with it. And the only way to solve the problem is for somebody, I think CRISPR-Cas9, or that guy that works with Jackson Wheat, to sit down and actually run the numbers. And I believe they have. And I believe that's what Dr. Jensen showed in, or not Dr. Oh God, doctors. Oh my God, I called him Dr. Dan. Oh, he's going to kill me.
Well,
he did it a week ago, right? Well, last week.
But wait, so how? Well, okay, what is the basis of? You said there was a mitochondrial Eve that goes back 80,000 years, a mitochondrial atom that they found that goes back, I think you said 150,000 years to so far back. So, what method do they use to determine how old they were? And on top of that, why do these young Earth creationists disregard whatever methodology they use to age the mitochondrial atoms and Eves?
Okay, we use assumptions based on fossil evidence and a number of other things to try to figure out what the overall substitution rate is. They use pedigree analysis, which means that we take like existing people and measure how many mutations go from one generation to the other. Unfortunately, pedigree analysis does not work because you're not accounting for genetic drift. You're not accounting for purifying selection. You're not accounting for anything. In the data that Jensen used, they didn't even account for germline mutations. The researcher was admitted to David Neff in an email that he didn't even check to see whether it was somatic or germline mutations. So if it's somatic line mutations, your body, I mean, you obviously, your mitochondria have been dividing ever since you were born. How many, hundreds of generations or even thousands is that? Every time your cell divides, right? So they didn't check any of that. Well, Jensen grabbed that number. I think there were 3 numbers in his chart: 0 mutations, and 35 mutations. It looks like he just picked 35 instead of he didn't even average them. Some had 0. And that was a number that he liked because when he plugged it into his spreadsheet, he got 6,000 years. And he's been blabbing about it ever since. And they claim it's evidence. So now Standing is blabbing about the mitochondrial consensus sequence. And I thought, what the fuck is that? And I go out and look, and it's John Sanford and Robert Carter, that did it. So, I mean, they came up with some bullshit, and they published a paper, and I still haven't found where they published it other than ICR, Institute for Creation Research. I don't know if it was peer-reviewed and published in a regular journal. So that's kind of where we're at. But, I mean, it's worth looking into, but the way they do things is so sloppy, and they won't back their data up or they won't back their assertions up with data. They won't show us the math. They won't give us a spread. Dr. Jensen uses Excel to do his population genetics. I think a few of his papers have some Excel spreadsheets attached to them, and I was horrified by that. I don't think you can do it that way.
So then after 10 minutes, Otangelo comes back. I assume he's talking to me.
Where is he? Well, the age of the universe?
Yeah, he says, and this is like after, 10 minutes of just letting the comments I made hang there in the air. And, kind of a funny word to start your post with when you haven't said anything for 10 minutes. And the age of the universe is not an issue in regards of the quest if the evidence in the natural world leads to God or not. There are plenty of old Earth creationists. So what? You're a young Earth creationist. So
yeah.
I mean, we're not debating on whether the age of the universe indicates God or not. We're debating the age of the universe, which you think is 6,000 to 10,000 years old.
Yeah, somebody asked me to move the paper down. Well, the paper doesn't go down. There's only the top part of it. However, they have the PDF, and I believe I downloaded it. The Eve mitochondrial. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Jerry says, in regards to me reading Otangelo's last post, he says, please use the proper voice.
Okay. Stop screen, share screen.
Oh, you know what? Since you stopped screen sharing, could you play Yakety Sax for me real quick?
I've been asked not to do that by Immutable Destiny.
Why?
Immutable Destiny is trying to teach me proper etiquette on YouTube channel.
Where's there a lack of etiquette in Yakety Sax, man?
Okay, here's the deal. Immutable Destiny helped me edit a response. I don't know if you were here when I talked about that.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Edited, my apology letter, my sincere apology letter. Immutable Destiny helped me.
It was so sincere it needed to be edited.
It was. But why does Immutable want me to do this? What are Immutable's motives for wanting me to apologize to Otangelo? Maybe Immutable could come on here and explain your motives, Immutable, and we'll see who's a nice guy here.
Yeah, I mean, he says, Otangelo said about the name calling. Oh, calling names doesn't help your case. I never said it did. And I said I won't call you any names in a structured debate.
When the fuck do I keep capitalizing my N? Okay, so here's the rest of the paper. The Eve mitochondrial. Okay. Who asked me, Jerry, to scroll down? I don't know where you're at. I'm not sure if you're reading the paper. Oh, let me give you a link to this. Where the fuck did I get it? Uh-oh. Semantic Scholar. Okay, ICR PDF. I'll put the link.
Pardon me. Sorry.
Whoops.
That was a Pepsi burp.
We all make mistakes.
That wasn't a mistake.
Wait a minute. No, that's not right either. Okay, I can't copy that. Okay, copy. God damn it. Copy link address. Okay, here's the paper. Wherever, I think it was Jerry that asked for it. So you go ahead and read it. I'm just trying to see what they got here. Let's see. In order to develop a biblical model of human, I'm sure they never got published in any biological journal if they started out that way.
So Andrew's going to come in and talk some more about that.
Talk last night.
Yeah, Got Sick Gibbons says, did SFT stream for like 6 hours or something last night? Good Lord. I mean, so I just want to bring something up real quick before he comes in. You guys go back to talk about that. I was thinking about our discussion with Danny, where he says that naturalism is incoherent. And I don't know if you guys did your philosophy of math last night. I was only able to watch a little bit of that.
We did.
But I got to thinking, like, okay, if you're going to make the claim that that naturalism is incoherent, I mean, shouldn't you might as well be a solipsist, wouldn't you? I mean, because you're basically saying that you don't have any confidence in your mind's ability to think and to reason, and you don't have any confidence that the reality that you're experiencing is really reality. I mean, so I just don't. When he said that it's incoherent, I'm just hoping that it's like some deeper philosophical stance, or deeper philosophical meaning that I just don't understand or don't have knowledge of, since I'm not an expert in philosophy. Because it just, to me, that's what it boils down to, is like, if you say that naturalism is incoherent, you're basically saying that you don't trust your own mind.
We can't even observe anything, almost like we can't write down what we observe, and it's going to be we call it reliable to next time we try to observe it or something. It's like, what? It's like we can't trust the observed. That's what I meant.
Jerry says, John, you're going to trigger Danny. I'm sure he already heard me talking about him through the ether. His ears are itching right now. He's telling his class right now to read chapter 10 while he takes
Think over. Yep. So Andrew's going to come in and he's made a vow. Never that he's going to quit going on their channel. We'll see how long it lasts. He's like David Neff. David Neff for a long time was going on every chance he got, and I think David quit doing that so much. But I guess we all get addicted to this thing. We keep going back. It's like, when you have like a hole in your tooth or something, you can't quit poking it with your tongue. What was the pejorative that SFT used to describe you and Dr. Dan at the beginning of that video? He said, "You guys, sorry, my atheist friends," or I don't think he said stupid, but he said something slow.
Oh yeah, a little slow. He said that he said that Speed and Dr. Dan are just a little slow. Sorry.
Yeah, and he said I should retire.
Yeah. He told the 70-year-old guy to retire.
Retire from what?
From talking about science, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of semi-retired from programming for the time being. Okay, public available sequence work. I'm trying to figure out how to remove many sequences with documented errors. The resulting set of 827 sequences. Okay, how long were they? It's the best effort at generating a set of reliable mtDNA sequences. They should be free. I mean, this just all sounds really suspect to me, because if you got 827 highly conserved sequences from mtDNA and you compared them to a fucking dinosaur, I don't think you'd find a lot of differences. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think you would. You might find that we differ from the dinosaur by, 37 nucleotides.
So, is it okay if we continue to have two discussions here?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't care.
Okay, because
I'm waiting for Andrew.
Andrew said he was coming in. He's still talking to Gutsip Gibbon in the live chat. But Otangelo now says, I mean, and I've never heard Otangelo claim this before, but he says, that's my trigger word for the voice. I gotta say speed. The generation of energy, a specific set of building blocks and information to make machines and factories requires intelligence. Life needs all three of them at once to start. Okay, you're right, Otangelo, you're right. Making machines and factories does require intelligence. But to have the metaphorical machines and factories of biology come into existence doesn't take an intelligence. They're not literal machines and factories, and we've all told you this a bazillion times, and you just don't get it. You just keep saying the same thing over and over again. Machines and factories require intelligence.
So, Andrew and Top Dog, do you want to come on this evening and have a talk about SFT?
I guess, but I might have to sleep a little bit.
Oh, you could do that because I've got a thing at 7:00 with Scott, and we're going to be recording it. But I'm free after that.
So what time?
Oh, come on, Erica, you hate me. I know you hate me. Erica never comes on my stream. She doesn't love us anymore.
Hey, look at Scott's. Is that true what Scott's saying? Is that even in the current papers and stuff, they stay away from comparing, any biology to machines and factories? He said that paradigm is so passe.
I think they're getting away from it rapidly. They're starting to do well. It's going to be in that paper we talk about tonight. There are reasons why they're getting away from it. And there are reasons why they came up with this machine analogy, particularly, that little thing you see walking along the microtubule, carrying a load. It was carrying a big ball and it's walking along, that thing. Mm-hmm. That has come into, had some scrutiny as to whether or not that actually represents what's going on. That is their favorite. The creationists love that little thing walking on the microtubules. Ben Stein in Expelled, he played that video for most Americans for the first time. It came from, I think, Oxford, or maybe it was Stanford. I'm not sure, but they had a video they did about, how complicated the cell was, and Ben Stein played it. And it has been running around, and I mean, they love that fucking thing because that looks like a little man walking along a wire, carrying a big, huge ball.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm actually envisioning the actual video in my head. Yep.
You've seen it so many times, and most of the time we see it on the Creationist channel, and that has come under some suspicion as to whether or not that's anywhere near what's really going on. I mean, it ain't that simple. So the paper tonight the paper tonight points to a lot of papers that we're not going to get into, but it does a really good summary. It's a really good review by Nicholson on why the cell is not a machine.
Hey, Otangelo, I realize that English is not your first language, so I'm not picking on you for this, but Scott Duke said that the factory machine, comparison was passe, not pass. Passe and pass mean two different things.
So Otangelo knows all about this Nicholson paper, and he's criticizing it here. Just because you wish and say so, cells remain cells, and factories is what they are. Just because you say so, Otangelo. Anyway, your cell idea will be threatened, seriously threatened. I guarantee it. Whoops, I can't do that, can I? Anyway, I will take a look at this paper, I guess. Because I'm not sure what the fuck they're talking about or what they did here. I mean, claiming to have Eve's mitochondria is... but, to be fair, or to be unfair, they start out saying what? In order to develop the biblical model of genetic history.
Huh.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like begging the question in your
Sort of.
scientific method,
Yeah.
in your hypothesis.
Hey, Andrew.
Well,
I'll go.
here's the video of the mitochondria Eve. If I already have it in the chat a while back.
I saw it.
So I don't know. I haven't seen this, so I don't think yet. I don't know what it's going to say really.
That's says cells are not factories, not even analogously.
Inherit mitochondrial DNA only from the mother. So, in order to pass on mtDNA from generation to generation, the mother must have an unbroken link of female descendants. Unlike nuclear DNA, which undergoes recombination, much of mtDNA is passed from mother to daughter, relatively unchanged. If we take a sample of mtDNA from a population and try to reconstruct their matrilineal ancestry using the very slow mutation rate of mtDNA, we might arrive at a single female common ancestor, a mother whom we can all relate to from our mother's side. This is exactly what Kahn, Stoneking, and Wilson did in 1987, and found out that, in fact, all humans alive today do have a common female ancestor who probably lived about 200,000 years ago in Africa. They named her mitochondrial Eve.
200,000.
Analogous to this, tracing Y chromosomal DNA, which is only inherited from father to son, points to our common father, Y chromosomal Adam. However, there is no reason to believe that mitochondrial Eve and Y chromosomal Adam lived at the same time. Likewise, they were not the only humans living at the time, but their contemporaries failed to produce a direct matrilineal or patrilineal descent. Also, mitochondrial Eve and Y chromosomal Adam were only the most recent common ancestors. Going back in time, we can even find common ancestors of species all the way back to the first single-celled organisms.
Okay, they showed them together, and that's bullshit. They're not together. If you looked at the tree, mitochondrial Adam and Eve would not be standing together like that.
Well, right, but he verbally said that was
Okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
What's more, our actual common ancestor following both mother's and father's side probably lived as early as 5,000 to 10,000 years ago. All this shows that we are so closely related, more so than we could ever imagine.
I think that's it.
What's this nonsense now?
I think that was just a simple summary of mitochondria Eve.
No, I'm saying Speed just shared one of Angela's comments. I was wondering which nonsense it was.
So he said that Nestle, he doesn't address the science. What? Okay, addressing the science, Otangelo, does not involve copy pasting paper and wiki articles into castboard.com. Addressing the science means you come up with a rational argument and you refer to the papers and you make some sense out of it. And you haven't done that other than to claim over and over again the cell is a factory, the cell is a machine, or proteins are a machine. And I'm afraid that is not addressing the science. So your accusation is kind of funny, kind of ironic. You've never addressed any science yourself, ever, that I have seen. There. Sorry, Immutable.
He says Smokey Saint ain't here.
Smokey Saint ain't here.
Or Smokey Saint isn't here, question mark.
Where's that?
That's from our good friend Harry P. Ness.
Oh, I didn't see an S. I missed the comment. So Peter's here. I'm going to go for it. So Andrew, you wanted to talk about your experience last night. I did not watch your part. So what happened?
What didn't happen? I don't know. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of it, but like I was telling Guts and Gibbon, it's kind of a wake up call. But I'll mainly summarize it with, let's see. Do you want me to summarize it with 2 words or 1 word?
Your choice. Maybe try both.
Okay. All right, or I guess I guess these might be synonymous. LPP.
Okay.
So I mean, like, just the.
So you talked to him last night?
Yeah, like near the end, because the beginning section of it was mainly me asking questions about Big Bang cosmology, and apparently, to me at least, they apparently don't know anything whatsoever about it.
Yeah.
Like sorry, I can't think straight for certain things right now, but I just wanted to go over, hear your thoughts on one specific section of it. So there was, let's see, there we go. So I think it was at like an hour 37 minutes or something, or maybe it was 2 hours. I'm not sure.
4 centimeters a year annually. Yeah, and so if
We're about right
I
there.
even skipped through it, and I seemed to catch a lot of the
Discussion. Yeah.
denial.
So they're
You know what
pointing
is it
out
that,
that they could represent.
Oh wait, maybe it might be after that actually. Let's see.
They were
where
not.
was it?
I think, yeah.
Hey,
Earlier
Jonathan
this
Guzman
month,
last
they
night,
published a
they
new
were
paper on
arguing with him.
a baby Tyrannosaurus and an embryo
So
Tyrannosaurus
he is
Rex
kind
that
of
they found
coming
in an egg.
around to an
I'm
old Earth.
Well, I'm
That
reading. I'm reading from
that
Science
true?
Mag in 2017.
sure.
It says they found no sign of feathers, just smooth,
Do
scaly
you know
skin.
that?
They also analyzed skin impression from large teeth
Let's see. All right,
that lived around
pause
the
it.
same
Yeah, are we trying to listen to a video?
Brontosaurus and
No,
Gorgosaurus.
are we?
These dinosaurs were covered
If
in
we
skin.
do, I gotta-
Pause it.
Reported in
I'm
I'm
biology.
getting
letters.
double
I would
audio.
look into that because even Dapper Dino recently tried to make a rebuttal
Who's
video
getting
to one of
double
our
audio?
videos and failed
I'm
completely.
getting
where
you guys
he even
talking
admitted,
and
well,
like a video.
that's how science improves.
Really?
Yeah, someone's got the stream
probably
going on.
T-Rex didn't have feathers.
Speed,
But,
you can see it on the top right of
No, it wasn't the stream coming through somebody's audio. It was this SFT video that's on my screen right now
You
playing.
can hear it?
Yeah, I could hear it.
Wow, that's
I
interesting.
stopped hearing it. Well, so somebody did something.
I did something.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up the video and find the specific part I want to talk about. You guys talk about
You're
something
gonna pull up
random.
the video?
Or
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
find the specific part of it, and then
Oh,
you
I can't
can
hear
share your
anybody.
screen.
Yeah.
Well, I skipped through it, that
Oh,
video, and I just kept on hearing denial after denial, and they kept on repeating stuff like it was a joke to them. It's like anything that we can observe is a joke to them. That's the problem.
who's this?
You guys are back. I can't hear you at all. Something wrong with my headphones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The SFT video last
Nobody hear me?
night. Yeah,
I can hear you, Jay.
Okay.
the 3,000 subscribers for SFT that they were celebrating.
So
For
are you
6
gonna
hours.
pull it up, Andrew?
Huh?
How that guy keeps getting subscribers is beyond me.
I don't know.
The guy's a wanker.
I'm gonna find the specific time, and then you can share it again.
I can't.
Yeah, he's not able to
Oh, you
screen
can't?
share.
Yeah, somebody else has to share it.
So
I guess I'll
to
do it
answer
again.
your
All right,
question,
give me one
Jay,
sec.
to answer your question, Jay, nearly 80 million people voted for Donald Trump. So
Yeah,
SFT having 3,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I got the. Yeah.
Read it.
So what you're saying is we need to focus on the bigger sickness, not the little sickness.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
I
Yeah,
just,
that's what I'm
just added that in there. Just threw
Yeah.
that in.
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, I've been away for a while. I got sick for several days. So
What did you have? COVID?
Still waiting for my test results. If I still have COVID, then I've gone asymptomatic. But yeah, I got pretty sick there over the weekend.
And it didn't have anything to do with any kind of bottle sickness, huh?
Nope.
Oh, God.
Nope. No bottle sickness at all. Yeah, I felt like somebody ran over me, joint pain, all that stuff, sweats. So
Yeah, I got to meet with my doctor on the phone tomorrow about my kidney functions out of whack.
uh-oh.
Boy, you're really helpful.
I told you.
I mean, because that was my response too. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can try drinking Tulsi. That's been shown to help with kidney production.
I could drink what?
Tulsi tea.
I don't even know what that is.
That's also referred to as holy basil. It's a popular herb used in Ayurvedic medicine.
I've been just trying to, like, I wrote down a bunch of things to, because I take some pretty heavy meds as far as my arthritis and psoriasis goes. It's called methotrexate, and that's something I got to get tested for periodically to make sure it's not fucking my organs up. So
Yeah, I think my mom was on a low dose of that because she's got RA.
Salty tea?
Tulsi, Tango Uniform Lima,
Oh, it also
Sierra, India.
is that? Wait a minute, Tulsi tea? You said so? Is that like Tulsi Gabbard's bathwater?
If you're on immunosuppressants, I wouldn't recommend Tulsi.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
it,
what
it
is.
also happens if you strip naked, dance around the fire, and throw herbs on it too, I think.
Yeah, but no, it's not. I mean, I asked you a question, Jay.
Oh, I didn't catch it. What was that? Go ahead.
I said Tulsi tea. Is that like Tulsi Gabbard's bathwater?
No, not Tulsi Gabbard's bathwater.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so we got a video up.
You wish it
Andrew.
was, but it's not.
Andrew has a video.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Gutsip Gibbon, real quick before you do that. Erica says, so conspiracy theory, SFT is rising in subs, but his view counts are still the same. So is he paying for subs? How does that hash out?
Well, it doesn't matter if you pay for subs or not, because if you don't get the views, it really doesn't make any difference.
Well, no, but her point is why, if he's getting all these more subs, why isn't his view count going up at all?
That's
Right.
true. Yeah, no, you should see. Yeah, you should see a rise in that.
I caught on the 3,000 subscriber video there. Yeah, they said, or SFT said that they had other people doing like 20 sock accounts or something.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how if it was just a joke or not.
I feel like it was enough.
Well, he didn't go up for a long time. He was at like 2.7 or 2.6, and then all of a sudden he went up over 3,000 recently. So.
Well, I'm sure Jesus is Lord has utilized all of has subbed with SFT using all of his
Sock
accounts,
Yeah, what Jill's got? What, like 50 sock accounts?
something like that. God only knows.
But I just want to know if when somebody that's a Christian subs to SFT channel, does it count as 3 votes because of Trinitarianism, or?
I think so. Okay, Andrew is too polite to interrupt us, so we have to
Shut up and let him.
Yeah, we'll shut up. Yep.
No, it's fine.
Did you find
So
part?
huh?
Did you find the part you wanted to find?
Yeah, just this quick little few minute clip right here,
Okay.
where so to the to the irritation of LPP, I posed the question again, just because I was getting irritated with them, the bristle question, and I want to see, okay, can you give me a different answer? Because your answer last time wasn't very satisfactory. It wasn't addressing the question I'm assuming everyone here knows the question, right? Do I have to repeat it?
I forgot.
I don't
Okay.
know what question you're referring to either. Honestly, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't keep up with LPP's shit because he doesn't. I don't
Right.
even. I've never even talked to him, but maybe once, and he said, "Get that fucking atheist out of here."
Well,
So-
no, Andrew has shared the question here on this broadcast before, but I forgot what it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It's okay. I'll repeat it again. So basically, there is a gene called SCOOT in several species of Drosophila. In Drosophila santomea, I'm probably mispronouncing all these names, but in that species of Drosophila, there is a pleiotropic enhancer for the SCOOT gene that controls the expression of bristles along the adult body. Okay. So there is a substitution from a T to a G in D. santomea. When comparing the same sequence to other species, it's found that that substitution probably caused an increase in the number of bristles along the forelegs of the male flies, and a decrease in the number of bristles along the genitalia, the hypandrium plate, I believe it's called. And so I posed this question to a number of times, like how exactly do or what specific part of this mutation counts as the loss of information component? Because according to their model, if I understand it correctly, most, if not all, like he even says it, the majority of mutations lead to a loss of function or a loss of information, basically. And so I'm asking my question, the bristle question, is for this specific example, what is the component that counts as that loss of information? And so at first LPP went into it, but I just want to share a standings answer here because confused me at first, but I feel like he's committing a special pleading fallacy. Okay, so I think you'll see what I mean in a sec. So should I play?
I mean, you got a Christian using special pleading. Come on, you're way outside the realm of reality.
Yeah, I guess so. All
Everything they say is a fallacy. So
yeah, probably. All right.
Well, if you got someone, LPP is in no way ever known for is accepting a conclusion and then trying to work everything to meet that conclusion. So no, he wouldn't be special pleading ever. That's.
I'll tell you what.
Well,
I'll tell you what. Though, he's an expert grifter.
Go ahead, Andrew. Play the video.
Okay. Well, so this is Stanning's response to that question. So then information doesn't change because you're saying there's no new information.
What this boils down to, Bob, is he's trying to play the ridiculous nuance game.
Okay, maybe a little bit of LPP.
In relation to evolutionary theory. It's really annoying. Standard atheist evolutionary talking point. It tries to gloss over the basic logic. And if you don't know what information is, then you're very smart. Why don't you go and read Information Theory 101 and Communication Theory 101, and then come back and apply all of that to your understanding of what evolutionary theory is.
Tell me, say foreskin if you want me to pause at any point.
Foreskin.
Can you can you pause it real quick? I don't have anything.
I already said foreskin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even hear you say foreskin. John, go ahead.
But just two quick things. One, and I think maybe Speed and you guys talked about this before, where what is linkage is he trying to make between information theory and communication theory? Like I don't think that they're naturally linked, are they? And then the other thing is I really get sick of LPP's, pilot on the PA voice. I think you should.
Yeah.
Well, what John logical plausible blah blah whatever LPP has done
Mad
there,
Ducks.
Mad Ducks there has done is he has basically very and not so in very long term said Google it.
Yeah. and his reference to communication theory and information theory 101 and he's called himself an information specialist or communication theory specialist. And just the fact that he said communication theory and information theory, and he said 101, indicates that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about at all.
Well, right, because
Nothing.
information doesn't necessarily entail communication.
The two are linked in Shannon, basically Shannon information, where the whole thing about information theory and communication theory was about errors, about how much you can compress information. Your modern cell phones use all this compression technology to compress information, and it has fuck all to do with biology. Okay, but now biological information theory uses some of the stuff from standard information theory as a starting point, but it has fuck all to do with it. And if you're some sort of an electronics expert and you understand communications theory, you don't know shit about biological information. And so John is just trying to be condescending and play like.
I've asked you guys this 1,000 times. When John's in the room, don't refer to that fucktard as John, will you please?
Mad
Grifter or mad ass?
Yeah, call him Mad Duck, Grifter.
Hey, John, I understand your pain when I found out that Smokey's possible real name is Jay.
There you go. Yep.
All right. So
the problem is I can't actually use my what J is short for, because there's another jackass that has that same first fucking name.
Okay.
Before you started up, just something Snake said in the chat that Mad Ducks was doing right there is, why do they continue to conflate atheism with evolution? They've been corrected at least 15 million times.
Yep.
I mean, absolutely. And John did that. He's like this atheistic evolutionary talking point, I think is what he said. Like,
right. Yeah. All right. So I skipped a little bit ahead here so I can get more of Standing's response, because I don't want to listen to John anymore. Sorry. Yeah, Mad Oxen Socks.
Does it give you vertigo? Listening to him over and over again gives you vertigo, I think. Makes you kind of sick to your stomach.
Yeah. All right. Let it play?
Yeah.
Okay.
And still claim they don't know what information is. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but this is getting really, really old.
I've been using the definition of information for, a year and a half worth of debates. I typically just define information as functional specificity communicated through language or code. It's as simple as that.
Supernaturally.
Functional specificity
has come from the creator. Well, a lot of these examples too that the evolutionists prop up as new information, novel information, they've been overturned and are now understood to be epigenetic regulation, highly regulated
foreskin
type changes.
He's lying. No, that has not been determined that everything is because of epigenetic changes. He keeps using that over and over again, and that is bullshit. We understand what epigenetic regulation does, okay? And no, not everything is fucking epigenetic regulation. He seems to think that any genome can be put into a different environment, and because of epigenetics, it'll suddenly turn into some other version of a kind, right? Like you can turn a house cat into a tiger by epigenetic regulation. That is bullshit.
Well, even here, I'm about to try to explain to him that this is neither a duplication nor an epigenetic event. So, you want to see how he responds to that?
What did he say before his definition was functional specificity communicated through code, and what was the other?
Language.
Something like that, yeah.
Language and code? Did he say
language? Or communication and code, something like that.
Okay. Pretty bad definition of information, but go ahead.
All right.
That I showed some papers earlier when I was debating Top Dog on Darwin's finches, how they're even now questioning the result of those types of changes. They're now looking to epigenetic regulation, this front-loaded capacity, as John calls it, which I like, to adapt to these various environments. Actually, Dr. Lee Spetner, I'm reading a book called The Evolution Revolution, which is awesome. He calls it the non-random evolutionary hypothesis, as in these changes are there. We got millions of switches in the genome. They're not random. They're just waiting for the appropriate and necessary environmental stimuli to turn these genes on that are already there. They exist in the genome. They're now just being expressed, or they're being turned on, and it leads to rapid evolutionary change that cannot be due to mutations in natural selection because it's too quick. Okay, in that time frame that we're seeing these adaptations, there's examples in lizards, fish, Darwin's finches. Okay, it's too quick. The information was already there. Therefore, that's not anything new and meaningful. Okay, since the ability
He's not answering your question.
Adaptation was already
well, I'm gonna
and even
I'm about to try and get him to in a sec. So
I mean,
hold on.
the only thing that I heard there was that he likes Maddox's front loading style. Giggity.
Yeah.
even the secular
Giggity goo.
technical papers are talking about this. So, I mean, are you up to date on all the epigenetics, empiricists?
Vaguely, but like I was saying, I'm not asking what the new meaningful part of it is. I'm asking what the degradationary part of it is. Because all right, now watch what he says here, which I kind of find confusing, but akin to a special pleading fallacy. So watch what happens.
I understand. Well, stop. What makes you think if it's an epigenetic change, okay, via the environment, you got a switch in the genome that's just waiting to be turned on through some type of environmental stimuli in order to adapt? Why would that be degrading? For example, GM builds their cars with the ability
my God.
They design their cars with a heater and an air conditioner. Okay, well, in some climate, okay, maybe over in Alaska.
Not all cars were designed with heaters and air conditioners when they were first made.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, special police.
No, don't you know, man, that when it gets really hot outside, it switches the gene on in the car that runs the air.
I'm gonna do Gavin here. That's a presentism fallacy. Presentism fallacy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
You're taking something from present and you're incorporating it into the best.
If you're gonna do Gavin, you have to take your pants off first.
Yeah,
know
or
that-
your shirt.
Yes,
One
but
or the other.
I keep my camera off.
Then you don't have to wear pants at all.
Exactly. Hang out with my wang out. Anyway.
Hang out with my
Right.
man.
So I think in a sec I'm gonna try and explain to him why it's not epigenetic.
Okay.
At least not in the sense that he's describing.
Right.
But it's there just in case, that they were to move to somewhere where they need the air conditioner on. Okay. Right. If they move to an environment where now they can use the air conditioner because it's hot, that doesn't mean it was degrading to the car. It was already there. It's front loaded into the car. It's designed that way, and that's what we see with a lot of these epigenetic changes. There was
Loaded
no
into
law.
the car.
Okay, what fucking argument is he making right now? Like,
He's trying to say that the difference in the number of hairs or whatever was a result of epigenetic changes because the fruit fly got into a different environment and turned into a different species because of epigenetic changes. When the paper, I think, clearly points out the mutations, right?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Here, let's because I got a short time. I'm gonna have to leave, so I'm just gonna have to.
Okay.
I'm gonna play it for a little bit, and then we can respond, perhaps.
Okay.
yeah, no foreskins is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Or minimum foreskins, I guess. All right.
Programmed information that was there in the genetics, that has now been expressed through the environment. Why does that have to be a loss? I don't understand.
Well, because this is an example of a mutation, and it's not epigenetic.
No.
Which is an example of mutation.
The example I just gave, the mutation in the enhancer.
The bristle being moved to a different location.
The expression of the bristles along the body was changed due to this single mutation in this pleiotropic enhancer. Okay, so this was due to a mutation. It wasn't due to a gene being switched on or off. It was due to a mutation. So my question is, in this example, a substitution.
A substitution. So annoying. And what was the phenotypic effect?
I just said it was
appeared on a different part of the body.
Right. The number of bristles in one part of the body was changed. The number of bristles in a different part of the body was changed. That's the phenotypic effect.
So the novelty was more of the bristles that it already had.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for the novelty.
But if I gave you a copy of a book that you already own, how is that any type of evidence for the type of change evolutionary theory requires as compared to the type of change that we all accept, creationists and evolutionists?
I'm not talking about evolution here either. I'm not talking about novelty or evolution. I'm simply asking, in this specific example of a mutation, what is the loss of information component? Because if not, then the information component here doesn't apply to this specific kind of mutation. So,
I see.
Okay, real quick, Bob, and then you go. If I handed you a copy of a book that you already own, what's the loss in that?
Jesus Christ. They don't get it, do they?
Okay, can I foreskin?
Sure. Yeah. I'll let one there.
Okay, so I just got something real quick. What does, because he brought this up, what does front load mean?
They think all of the information was front loaded by God into the genes, and that when an organism goes into a different environment, it turns from a house cat into a tiger because of the environment causes an epigenetic change. That all of the genes were there already. God made it. Yeah.
So this is evolution by deist.
Yes. Yeah. And
okay.
Andrew is trying to get them to.
Oh, you okay, Speed?
No, I'm dying.
Oh no.
What?
Jesus.
I'm fucking
I hope I'm not laughing at something serious.
You know, I got to tell you, it's scary because when that day comes, that's probably exactly how he'll say it. You know, and we'll all be laughing.
I'm dying.
Yeah, we'll all be laughing on the other end.
Okay.
Oh, man, darn Speed, man. And
I prefer not to think about that. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's
I don't understand that. I don't understand Standing for Truth's analogies about a car with the air conditioner and the heat, because when cars, he's talking, it seems like he's saying that a car, if you're using cars as being analogous to these things as having traits that are front loaded into them, the cars don't adapt to have, they don't grow an air conditioner, they don't grow a heater. They become installed. The cars become designed to incorporate the new technology. So when, like I said, when cars were being built in the past, they didn't incorporate air conditioners and heaters into them. Later on, they had to incorporate those systems into those cars. It's the same thing with computers. It's like saying that the cars that now have infotainment systems adapted infotainment systems, but it was already pre-built into them back when Ford first threw the Model T off the assembly line.
I don't understand. Why are you confused, Jay? Cells are factories and machines.
I don't know
They're
why
all front loaded.
Okay. I don't know why Standing for Truth is so obsessed with cars. I don't get it.
Now I see where Andrew's frustration is here, because it doesn't sound like there's a loss of information. They're saying there's more information. It's just packeted away, and then it shows itself later on. Seems to be what they're trying to tell Andrew that there's packets of information that are basically on standby, and then sometime later, when certain environmental things kind of come into play, these packets of information will then something will trigger those packets of information, which would require an information bit to basically tell these bits of information to unload, and then that would contribute to new genetic material in order for that thing to basically, robots in disguise, and then it does its thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think he's about to describe it, but like what he's basically saying, at least to me, no photo. What he's basically saying is that it's the majority of cases it's a loss of information. Oh, except when it's not a loss of information. Like, isn't that by definition that's by definition a special pleading fallacy? That's ignoring a contradictory example.
Yeah, and how do they wrap that around the idea of entropy?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that's why it doesn't make sense, because they're saying, oh, most are degradatory, but not this one. Okay, well, how do I know to trust your degradation claim then? Because
how do we? Yeah, exactly.
Right. So that's kind of the point of the question. Basically, if they can't define the loss of information component, then obviously they can't define the information component, and their whole idea of genetic entropy doesn't really apply universally as they claim.
Yeah, because they're basically saying they have to be able to explain why there can be degradation and upgrading, because but they're saying it's not really. If I design an operating system and it comes with a pre-built upgrade in it, right? They would say, well, that's not necessarily an upgrade. That's just that upgrade installed into the base of the operating system, but it's still an upgrade. It's not degrading the operating system. But we all know from example that sometimes upgrades to certain operating systems can have degrading consequences to those operating systems.
Without a
Windows ME. But anyway, go ahead.
So
I'm sorry.
real quick, I've been waiting so long to say this, it probably nobody will remember. It'd be like a callback from 7 hours ago. But like the only thing I could think when Andrew said fewer foreskins was, I'll take shit you never hear for 1,000, Alex. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, it was so long ago.
I don't get that.
I don't know.
No, because when you said, I want to play this through because I have to leave soon, and I said, so no foreskins, and you said, well, fewer foreskins.
Okay, Andrew, you want to play the rest of it so you can go?
Yeah. I think it's only like a minute or two, so you want to finish it up, and then I'll leave you guys alone because I got some schoolwork to do.
Okay. Yeah, and I appreciate Andrew clarifying that. That was mostly my fault. I appreciate Andrew clarifying
no problem.
I don't normally get into these science discussions.
Yeah, this is why I like talking to you guys, because you let me clarify things and I can clarify things to you. Whereas this is why I'm done with these people, because they don't want to have a reasonable discussion.
Oh, welcome, Andrew.
Namaste.
Yeah.
They don't even try to look at the basics of anything.
Yeah. All right. Let me finish.
No problem. If I handed you 25 copies of a book that you already own, well, where's the loss in that? There wouldn't be a loss, I guess, according to your definition. Right. So I don't understand why you are demanding that this specific change or mutation. Now, I have a feeling if we were to go study it and we were to look at the genotype.
Oh, yeah, does something real quick. Watch what he's about to describe the mutation as.
And we were to see what's really going on behind this mutation. Because a lot of times these gene duplications that seemingly look like there's no underlying negative genotypic effect, typically you find out, no, this gene duplication actually messed up something else in terms of a ripple effect that actually led to a disease. As in, there's kind of a trade-off, Now, I'm not saying that that's the case for this. I suspect that it could be, but at the same time, if I handed you a book and you already had a copy of that book, so therefore now you have two copies, there's no loss there, okay? So therefore, this may not be a loss either if you're now just increasing the number of bristles.
It's a copy of the book, of first edition, second edition, third edition, fourth edition.
Right. Yeah.
Does it have? Did the first edition have typos?
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, I mean you got to get a little bit more his book analogy is baffling me, because he went from air conditioners and heaters and cars to giving you multiple copies of books and then asking, is there a loss of information there? I'm like, no, you're just talking about copies, and that just depends on if the copy of the book is necessarily the exact copy of the book.
That's interesting, because I think as a group, Christian apologists are very bad at making analogies.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott Duke says that Speed's dying words will be "feed the raccoons."
Please,
Oh boy.
take care of my raccoons. Okay, Andrew, do you have more?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so I think he's about to summarize his claim, quote unquote.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. I'm going quiet.
Say that 100% of mutations lead to loss.
Oh wait, let me go back a little bit.
I mean, we don't say that 100% of mutations lead to loss. We're just saying that the majority of mutations result in degradation, but not. We've never said that every single one of them do. Go ahead, I yield.
Let's see. I'm gonna stop at this point because I think that's about what I want to share.
Yeah. So
what do you guys think?
Okay. Well, first of all, he doesn't understand what you told him caused that mutation, basically. So he doesn't understand that it was a change in it. It was what, one nucleotide in a regulatory sequence.
Yeah, in a enhancer that appears to be pleiotropic, basically. So that's the whole point of the question. Basically, it's a pleiotropic enhancer. It affects more than one trait, more than one expression pattern, I guess you could say.
Right. And the question was, basically how does that relate to information, or how does their idea of information hash out on that particular change?
I think what I find interesting to this is that they would think that the cells in this particular sense would be front loaded or preloaded with the information packed in them, instead of the cells being able to acquire the information from external sources, right? Because we use information to define the external realities that we're faced with. So if basically, you could use information to be analogous to the idea that the cells, given environmental pressures, are receiving an undue amount of this particular kind of information. And so the cells are basically now being informed by the environmental pressures to change, to adapt. But that's not up front loaded into the cell. It's just the cell's ability to basically, for lack of a better word, perceive the exterior forces or external forces, and then interpreting it and saying, hey, we need to adapt or die.
Hey, real quick, Creation Myth showed up, and going back to that paper, the Mitochondrial Eve paper, and then Speed went and found it on the internet and found that it was Carter and Sanford, and it was referred to in the title of it. It used the phrase consensus sequence, and Creation Myth is saying he believes SFT thinks that they've actually found the genome sequence, and I think he may be right, but I also think what he might be doing is much like when Leo's been here many times, and people these creationists, they balk at him and other people when they talk about consensus among the scientific community. And I would almost wager that SFT sees that word consensus about the consensus genome and believes that the scientific community agrees that this is the actual genome of mitochondrial Eve. Like, he sees the word consensus and conflates that with, they all must believe this is the real thing, because whenever Leo or Speed or one of those guys uses the word consensus, they mean that the consensus of scientists agree on something.
Maybe, I don't know. But he seems to think that it's like slam dunk. They have Eve's genome, and we can tell how many mutations there are. And looking at this paper, it's really difficult to figure out what they did. It looks like they handpicked some sequences that were probably highly conserved, and they got very few changes. and they decided to run with it. But they admit right in the beginning that what they're doing is trying to find a biblical model of human genetic history. So, I mean, if that's what their intent is, of course they're going to find what they're looking for.
Whenever scientists use the terms,
Yeah,
or like Eve doesn't mean actual first.
And they think it's a conspiracy that they can't get published if they start out a paper that way. I mean, it's just. I mean, if they start out with the Bible, it's hard to maintain that you're doing science because the fucking Bible is not science.
And whenever scientists use terms from the Bible, they're gonna jump on it and think that it's 100% what they were looking for.
It'd be like me finding proof for vampires by starting out with Dracula.
Yeah, or starting out with Plato, or in order to prove Plato right, we did this. It's like not that Plato wasn't even.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like deciding the age of the earth by counting a bunch of begats in a Bible.
That one too. Yeah.
Yeah, consensus sequence basically looks like those funny little diagrams where they'll have a really high A, like a really big A, and a small G next to it, and it means that most of the time the A is there. So it's sort of a combination of letters and a graphic, and they basically it's the percentage of times that you will find one particular letter. Sometimes you'll find one of 4 letters. Other times you'll always find a G. So we know that that's highly conserved. But it's all about conservation of, those things cannot be mutated because if they're mutated, the mitochondria isn't going to function and it isn't going to be able to divide. It dies off. So I don't know what the hell they did here, but I have to look at it.
So, Speed, but before I have to head out and before you guys start another subject, which I'll let you guys do that. I just want to say thanks again for letting me come on here and express my frustration. Yeah.
You handled it. You're handling your frustration very well. I am impressed, especially after being in a room with John Maddox. And now, Standing for Truth, I've talked to on one occasion, and he ran a stream. He ran like a sales pitch of evolutionary jargon on me, and I was just like, bleh. And that was a while ago. But John, I find absolutely aggravating. Not just
Hey.
Maddox.
Badass.
Maddox and socks.
Yeah, Andrew. I don't know. Did anybody ever tell you that? Did anybody ever warn you about going into those things? I don't know. I can't remember if anybody did. Do you remember anybody telling you that eventually you were going to get?
That's just like Nakasuchi warned. What's that dude's name?
Senpai.
He warned. I forget. He's really. I guess he might be your friendly neighborhood atheist. He warned him about Matt Powell asked him to be in that movie, and like he was like, "Oh, I'll be okay," Like,
oh yeah, right.
And then Matt Powell like shit on him like he did anybody else.
Oh yeah.
So
anyway,
just,
Andrew, I'm trying to say I told you so.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I told you.
I got that. So just to end my session with a question here, I think from the clip I just showed, would you say that SFT was able to answer the bristle question?
No. He didn't even understand the bristle question.
Okay, good. Thanks. That's reassuring.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't even understand the
kind
whole
of
question,
weird
but I
because
wouldn't say it was satisfactory.
Oh, say that again. My dogs are in the background.
Yeah, he just danced around it, because he didn't really understand it, so he didn't know where to go with it, other than to run his usual spiel and start talking about fucking cars, which he is obsessed with. So anyway,
yeah.
Okay.
He wants to bring hit the hammer of the thought
Yeah.
and stuff.
If you need to get going, Andrew, don't stick around just to be polite. Just tell us fuck
Yeah.
off and leave.
All right. Well, nice talking to you guys, and thanks for letting me rant.
Nice
Okay.
meeting you, Andrew.
Wow, that was
All
him
right.
ranting.
Yeah,
Huh?
Andrew.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
that was him ranting. I didn't see no ranting.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah,
hasn't
that's
he hasn't.
ranting. That's the most it can get.
Oh, you need to watch. You need to watch some of my brother's streams. Jesus Christ.
Okay, we'll see you.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah, that was a classic one the other night when he was a little liquored up and he was going after. Who was he going after?
Dark Ninja.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did like 20-minute fucking stream of consciousness on fucking.
Mhm.
Snake was right as talking about praise I am that I am, that claims that there are psychic powers involved because
Oh my
they
God.
hook up these wires to monkeys. And oh my God.
Hey, I wanted to mention too, like when Jay was talking about, he was talking about a specific creationist evolution denier, but I heard the story a while back that there was this one creationist evolution denier that tries to portray himself as being so knowledgeable in science, and then he had to ask somebody, talks about like evolution all the time and how it's wrong, and he had to ask somebody after a stream one night what an allele was.
Oh,
Was that Jill?
Oh, I'm not going to say who it was.
oh come on.
I mean, I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to out anybody.
Uh-huh. Right.
I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to out the creationist. I don't want to out the person who was asked the question.
Oh.
Who was asked the question in private, and didn't want to.
Oh, okay.
But,
I don't think that was me.
Yeah, no. That wasn't necessarily anybody that's here right now, but this is live.
Oh, okay. But I mean, was it Jill asking the question? Because he asked Cyrus what a cadaver was, and he supposedly taught English lit.
Ask what a cadaver is?
Yeah. He had a conversation with Cyrus, a while back actually now, and they were talking about, I can't remember what the topic was, but Cyrus used the word cadaver. I can't remember if he was using cadaver as an analogy or an example or whatever. And Jill responds to him. He goes, "Wait a minute." He goes, "What's a cadaver?" And Cyrus goes, "A cadaver. It's a dead body." And Jill has claimed that he taught English lit, and he doesn't know what a cadaver. He didn't know what the word cadaver meant.
Well,
I think that maybe Jill thinks English lit is like a book burning class.
It's when you don't learn the proper use of your. That's his idea of English lit.
yeah. I think Praise had trouble pronouncing the word, like some word like consensus. He was trying to sound it out. He was going consensus or something, and it was like
he did chasm once.
Yeah,
chasm
instead of chasm.
Yeah,
he
chasm.
was reading a Bible verse.
He does this all the time. I wonder why I guess if you learn to read without anybody else reading to you, you don't get the pronunciation.
Here's one that's even. I've got one that's even better. This one, he's picked this one up, and I don't know why he's using it. I think he heard somebody use it, and he just figured it sounded fancy because it's a French word.
Yeah.
So he here it is. So he was responding to Doc Savage because Doc Savage had wrote to him in a comment thread and said, "I pity Jill almost as much as the children he's permitted to teach." And Jesus' Lord came back with, "I pity any children who are raised by liberals. Touche lib. Come back when you're man or stupid enough to debate me." Now, that second sentence is questionable enough as is, so I need to just be stupid enough to debate you.
Oh, wow.
But then he says, I told him as kind of a teaching moment, you do realize that by stating touche, you are acknowledging Doc's comment as being a point against you, yeah? In
Right.
fencing, the person that calls touche is acknowledging the hit they received by their opponent. He's done this like 3 times. I don't know. I've seen like maybe 1 or 2 other comments in different comment threads where he's used touche as like, haha. You know, I don't know if he knows what touche means.
yeah.
The
I
other
got
person,
He probably thinks it says tush, and he's calling the person an ass.
Yeah, Praise definitely doesn't know what that means.
Hey, does anybody know anything about antique swords and like World War II swords and things like that?
A little. Why?
Okay, so hang around when we're gonna go on live in about 10 minutes. I gotta show you something.
So, yeah, earlier, Jay, before you got here, someone had referred to. We were talking about, Otangelo's misunderstanding of analogies and claiming that cells are actually factories and machines. And,
oh yeah, I heard you guys.
and then somebody in the chat, I think it might have been Scott Duke or something, or no, it was.
Passe. I was here for that. Yeah, it's so passe, and he goes, "It's pass." And
then Otangelo used the word "pass" in his response. Like, no, it's not.
That's not the same. It's not the same pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pate. I just fed my cats that. Is that how you say that?
Pate. Yeah, pate.
Yeah,
You
pate.
fed them some pate, and did you pat them on their pate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they love the whole thing, the whole ritual.
Yep.
Yeah, I might be going live a little bit later and doing a little bit of a stream about. Jill did an 8-minute premiere, and I made the comment fake news. So he wants me to. Apparently now he's got the election fraud challenge, and now he's told me in a comment that he's got the fake impeachment challenge.
Oh, nice.
Or the impeachment challenge, which I thought was interesting because he said that he actually stated in his comment that the president has been impeached twice. And I thought that was interesting considering he didn't agree. He kept arguing when Trump got impeached the first time that he wasn't impeached yet, because in order to be impeached, you have to get kicked out of office. He kept trying to make that argument that the president is impeached when they go on trial and if they get kicked out. It didn't matter what happened in the House.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then by that comment thread, he's admitting that Trump has been impeached twice. I was like, oh, that's going to be fun. So yeah, apparently he's changed his position on Trump being actually impeached twice.
The document is called impeach. That's what it is.
Yeah, the articles of impeachment or article of impeachment. In this case, it's an article of impeachment. But yeah, before the first time it was articles of impeachment. Either way, yeah. And then he still wants me to prove Russian collusion delusion or something like that. I'm just like, dude, they were investigating it. Apparently you seem to think that anybody who supported an investigation is just working from the conclusion like you do, going from the conclusion and then working for the conclusion. An investigation is to find out if there's been anything.
How many people out there still believe that Trump is going to be president here in a few months? I mean, I wonder how many Americans think
Probably, I would say 20 or 30 million.
There was a Newsweek article I saw where it was like 40% of, I think it's around 40% of Trump supporters actually believe that he was cheated out of the election. Out of those, I need to finish the article because I think they actually broached on that a little bit. Like out of the sample size of the people that they were polling, there were those that believe that he would basically be president by March. Yeah, I think that's a conspiracy. I think that QAnon is now currently pushing, is that he'll be in office by March or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, can we watch this little short video?
I have another question first. Why do I keep getting these QAnon things on some of my videos? They, like, at the top, there's like a little yellow thing right underneath the video that says
if you mention QAnon, it'll pop up, just like on Praise's channel when Iger comes on. It comes up with a flat Earth thing.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
So here, can we listen to this real quick? It's real short.
No, John.
No.
I wasn't going to get the vaccine, but my job made me get it. I work for the government, by the way. So I get the vaccine right here. I go to bed. I wake up with this on my arm. What are you looking at? He's been tracking me wherever I go. And he's in the kitchen again. You done looked 3 times. There's nothing new in here. Hey, he's in the bathroom again. Don't nobody come in here for 35 to 45 minutes. Would you stop?
Oh, he stole that from Friday.
He's just mean. You got veins full of microchips. Your blood type is Microsoft. Who you texting? Ain't nobody gonna want you now that you got the mark of the beast on your arm. He's jealous of my cats. Would you look at all these dingleberries? Pathetic. It's unbearable. I can't even sleep because he's up doing karaoke so late. Someday we'll find it. The rainbow. I said, hold the microphone. The rainbow connection. The lovers. The dreamers. And me. And then when I finally do doze off.
It's
time to be mind control. I can't even watch movies anymore. That's his wife's head in the box at the end of the movie. Would you stop spoiling things? Next movie. He starts fights with strangers. You call that driving? My boy Jeff Dunham right here will kick your ass. He's completely ruined my life. You should have listened to Alex Jones because Big Pharma and Bill Gates got you by the short and curlies now, son.
I'm just glad he didn't get into anything like masturbation.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
Yeah, he's got some really great Trump stuff.
Time and time again, the mainstream press has been
automatic play. Yeah.
when it comes to the stock from the .com blow up.
What the fuck? Oh,
no, it was coming through my microphone because I had the tab open still, and it
went to the next video.
Yeah, I have that turned off on my mobile, but not on the computer.
You see Scott's comment? That's pretty good.
I was just gonna wait. I was just waiting for him to get really perverted and go, well, it's time for some bonding time, and he starts putting lipstick on his puppet.
He's got some.
First injection had a microchip in it.
He's yapping at him. He goes, time for you to shut up, and he grabs him and just shoves him down into his lap.
So anyway, I'm not saying my first injection had a microchip in it, but I haven't had to use a remote control in over a week.
I love the I don't know if it's Colbert or the other guy, but somebody did a thing where when Grandma goes to sleep, if you hear that Microsoft Windows shutdown sound when she goes to sleep, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, guys, it's Boomer o'clock here. 4 o'clock. So I'm going to end the broadcast. What do you think? Any objections?
Your channel.
Okay, I think I'll end it. What the hell? I do whatever I want. Oh God.
Yeah, you're just like Cartman.
You just reminded me how wonderful it is to be single. Anyway, okay, I'm ending the broadcast.